The highly anticipated September 9, 2025, showdown between the Golden State Valkyries and the Seattle Storm at a sold-out Chase Center was not merely a game. It was a narrative-rich epic, a brutal and beautiful clash of styles, generations, and championship aspirations, culminating in a breathtaking 85-78 victory for the seasoned Seattle Storm. From the opening tip, the atmosphere was electric, a palpable buzz that seemed to hum in time with the San Francisco fog outside, as fans of both teams understood they were about to witness a potential playoff preview of the highest order. The Valkyries, the league's dazzling expansion darlings in only their second season, represented the audacious future of the league, youthful, explosive, and playing with a fearless verve that had taken the WNBA by storm. In contrast, the Seattle Storm, though boasting their own young stars, were anchored by the timeless, legendary presence of Jewel Lloyd, a warrior whose championship pedigree and cold-blooded efficiency embodied the relentless, win-at-all-costs mentality of a dynasty refusing to fade. This 10-minute highlight reel chronicles the entire emotional arc of this 40-minute war, from the tentative first punches to the final, decisive knockout blow. The game erupted into life with the Valkyries' phenom, point guard Isabella Ice Garcia, number 10, immediately putting her stamp on the contest, winning the tip and flowing directly into a set play. Using a vicious down screen from her all-star center, Elena Petrova, Garcia found a sliver of space atop the key and, without a moment's hesitation, launched a deep three that ripped through the net, sending the Valkyrie faithful into a deafening roar. This opening salvo was a statement of intent from the home team. However, the Storm, unflappable and experienced, did not buckle. They methodically worked their offense on the ensuing possession, the ball pinging around the perimeter with practiced precision before finding its way to Jewel Lloyd, number 24, on the left wing. With a veteran's poise, she used a hesitation dribble to create a centimeter of space against the tenacious defense of Garcia and rose up to drain a smooth jumper, silencing the crowd and immediately answering. The first quarter became a fascinating tactical duel. The Valkyries leaned into their athleticism, with Garcia and the high-flying wing, Kendra Jones, number 23, pushing the tempo at every opportunity, looking for early offense in transition before Seattle's formidable half-court defense could set. Jones was particularly explosive, finishing a breathtaking fast break with a powerful two-handed flush after stealing a lazy pass from Storm guard Sam Haley. Yet, for every Valkyrie burst, the Storm had a calculated response. They expertly exploited a slight size advantage, repeatedly feeding their power forward, Jordan Clark, number 33, on the block, where she used a series of deft footwork and soft hook shots to keep the scoreboard ticking over. The period ended with a moment of individual brilliance from Lloyd. With the shot clock winding down, she isolated Garcia at the top of the arc, crossed over, stepped back, and nailed a contested, fading jumper as the buzzer sounded, giving Seattle a narrow 20-18 lead and setting the tone for a game where experience would repeatedly answer the call of youthful exuberance. The second quarter began where the first left off, but it was here that Seattle's defensive discipline began to truly shine and create separation. Storm coach Noel Quinn made a subtle adjustment, switching to a more aggressive hedging scheme on Petrova's high picks, effectively disrupting the rhythm of Garcia and forcing other Valkyries to become playmakers. The strategy paid immediate dividends. After a Garcia turnover forced by a double team, the Storm pushed the ball ahead to their own young superstar, the number 1 overall pick from 2024, small forward Zara Z-Dub Washington, number 00. Washington, a player whose combination of size, skill, and athleticism drew early comparisons to a young Elena Del Don, caught the ball on the wing, took one powerful dribble past her defender, and elevated toward the rim with breathtaking grace, throwing down a monstrous one-handed dunk over a help-side Petrova that sent a shockwave through the entire arena. The play seemed to energize Seattle and momentarily stun the Valkyries. Capitalizing on the momentum shift, the Storm's defense locked in. They began clogging the driving lanes, forcing Golden State into a series of difficult, contested perimeter shots that consistently clanged off the iron. On the offensive end, they were ruthlessly efficient. Veteran point guard Sam Haley, number 4, began to control the pace, expertly navigating pick-and-rolls and finding open shooters. She hit Clark for a mid-range jumper, then found Lloyd curling off a pin-down screen for another easy 2. This 10-2 run over a 3-minute span forced a frustrated timeout from Valkyries coach Becky Hammon, with Seattle now holding a 32-20 lead, their largest of the game to that point. Out of the timeout, the Valkyries showed their resilience. Garcia settled her team, using her blinding speed to get into the paint and draw defenders before kicking out to a wide-open Jones for a corner 3 that finally stopped the bleeding. The teams then traded baskets in a thrilling back-and-forth sequence. Garcia herself hit an incredibly difficult, acrobatic floater in the lane while falling away from the basket, demonstrating her otherworldly body control. But Seattle always had an answer, often through Lloyd, who seemed to have a counter for every Valkyrie run. The half concluded with Seattle maintaining a firm grip on the momentum, leading 42-36, a lead built not on flashy plays alone, but on a foundation of stifling defense and execution under pressure. Emerging from the locker room, the third quarter became the Zara Washington show, a breathtaking display of individual talent that announced her arrival on the league's biggest stages. The Storm came out with a clear mandate: put the game away. They executed this plan to perfection in the opening minutes of the period. On the first possession, Lloyd drove and drew 2 defenders, leaving Washington alone in the opposite corner. The pass was perfect, and Washington's 3-point shot was pure, extending the lead to 9. After a Valkyries miss, Washington struck again, this time cutting backdoor, receiving a pinpoint bounce pass from Haley, and finishing with a graceful reverse layup while drawing a foul. She completed the and one opportunity, pushing the lead to 12 and forcing another early Valkyries timeout. The timeout did little to cool her off. Just a minute later, after a steal by Clark, the Storm had a 3-on-2 fast break. Haley drove right and lofted a perfect alley-oop pass toward the rim. Washington, trailing the play like a freight train, leaped from just inside the free throw line, caught the ball with one hand, and threw it down with terrifying authority. A dunk that instantly rocketed to the top of every sports highlight reel across the nation and sent the small but vocal contingent of Storm fans into a frenzy. With the lead ballooning to 15 points, the game seemed to be slipping irrevocably away from Golden State. But champions, even young ones learning how to become champions, do not go quietly. Coach Hammon switched to a small ball lineup, inserting sharpshooter Mia Wong, number 17, and the move provided an immediate spark. Garcia, recognizing the need for a hero, took over. She hit a step-back 3 over Lloyd.